The 250th episode of Total Party Kill is coming up, and it's going to be a special Ask the Dungeon Master session. Send your questions to tpk@theincomparable.com or tweet them at tpkill on Twitter, or send them in the TPK channel in the Incomparable members Slack. You're listening to the Incomparables Total Party Kill podcast, in which a group of friends play Dungeons & Dragons on the internet for your amusement. This is episode number 247, posted June 2020. Minotaur Maul.
Welcome back to Total Party Kill. I'm your Dungeon Master, Tony Sindelar. We are continuing our adventures in Barovia. Barovia, the land where everything is bad. You know what they call a Target in Barovia? A Walmart. It's true, canon. Everything is bad here. Let me introduce our players in a random order, as randomly generated by me, because I forgot to go to random.org. Random.org! Slightly more random than Tony. First off, it's Erica Ensign.
Oh my goodness. Hello. I'm here. I am playing Brildish, the Dwarven Paladin, who wants to hit stuff with her axe.
Welcome, Erica. Next up, it's Dan Morin.
Hello. I am playing a Warforged cleric known as Cast in Minotaur's Crucible, who this week did not open a flesh bag.
Flesh bags. Why would you do that? Joining Erica and Dan, it's Aline Sims. Hi, Aline.
Hi. Just call me Imra Soliana, the Wood Elf Wood Elf Ranger. Oh my gosh. And it'll be
Tuesday night, people. It all comes together.
And her mastiff companion, Androdite.
We are firing on at least one cylinder. Also here, it's Micah Sargent.
That's his name, and he's an elf. That's only half of one of those, and also a druid.
And that elf is named... that half-elf is named...
That half-elf is named Evelor.
Almost there.
Elevor!
This is going to be great. This is going to be great.
Don't worry.
Wednesday night!
I'm sure Erica will fix us all in editing and will sound perfect.
Thanks,
Hey,
Erica.
I'm good, but I'm not that good.
And last, and certainly not least, given our operating levels here, it's Jane Ritt.
Thanks, Tony. I am playing Lena Dulina, the human rogue.
So, previously on Total Party Kill, our adventurers trapped in Barovia are getting up to all kinds of trouble and finding their way in the world. They have gone to a windmill. They have fought hags, as you do. They have returned back to the town of Vallaki, a place where it's really hard to get a full night's sleep. They have sought a meeting with the Burgermeister of Vallaki, one Baron Vargas Valakovich, for reasons that I honestly don't remember. They were, standard player reasons we call them. And so they find themselves in the figurative lion's den, the literal den of one Baron Vargas Valakovich of Vallaki. The many of you are crowded into this little room in the Burgermeister's mansion. I will open up a map right now for you. It's at the bottom.
In the Burgermeister's McDonald's.
Let me just remind you who is here. So, there is Vargas Valakovich, the Baron of Vallaki, his two mastiffs, dogs that he has with him at all times. They're kind of lounging on either side of him. His bodyguard, Isaac Strasny, owner and operator of one Monster Arm, stands by the door, looming. There are the five of you as introduced, and your traveling companions. One, Irina Kolyana, formerly of Barovia, Little Barovia, wearing a hood. You did tell her to buy a hood.
Yes.
And one, Aragal, the wayward Vistani, sent to murder you. And instead, I don't know, I guess he's like an intern now.
Tour guide.
Yeah,
Comic
he's
relief.
he's receiving some course credit for hanging out with you guys for, I don't know, you really only have, he's only been on the team for less than 12 hours at this point. Does he also have a hood? I feel like that's like your standard
Yes.
operating procedure.
Yeah.
Someone is traveling with you, and so they are assigned a hood.
Yep.
It's a branding thing.
Yeah, you guys look. Do all of you have hoods?
Yeah.
Oh, I do.
Obviously.
Sure.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, you're all
Sure.
hooded.
Do you not have a hood?
I have
Yeah,
a helmet.
Tony, what did you not?
I
Did you not
don't
get the
have a
memo,
character.
or-
I don't have a character. It's the thing that makes me sad.
Is God not wearing a hood?
Can God create a hood so hoodie
So-
that he can't hood?
Can God create a hood so big? I'm not
No.
going to do it either. Can't think it. Tuesday.
Okay. Tuesday night, people. So you have chosen to do this thing. This is one of those situations where, one of the beautiful things about Dungeons and Dragons, there are plans, and then there are what the players do. And in this case, they have gone to the seat of power of the not so nice looking guy who runs this evil, horrible, wretched town and got a meeting with him. And they find themselves in a small room with his bodyguard, owner operator, Monster Arm, and two mean looking dogs, and many other guards about in broad daylight, in his town, in his mansion, in his den. Take it away.
Do we have a plan? Why
I
are we
think that
here?
We just wanted to tell him that we killed the witch
Yes.
in a hope that we could curry favor, and perhaps maybe his crazy armed bodyguard wouldn't be with him 100% of the time, so we could ask him some questions about that. That being said, crazy armed bodyguard is here, which limits our options somewhat.
Indeed it does.
Can always ask him directly. Say, what is up with your monster?
No.
No.
All right.
Yeah, Dan, first of all, that's super rude. Second
You
of all,
say it in character
can't
voice.
You can't just ask someone what's up with their monster arm.
yeah,
I'm sorry,
Don't you
your
know
ways are
this?
strange to me.
what's up with your stupid robot voice? I will allow you to have a brief conference that your characters presumably had on the way to the mansion.
Dog and pony huddle?
in part to remind yourself what the plan was, because you did have a plan, which is that you wanted to shake him down, get some money, get into the house, look around, and in part maybe to discuss you have a plan, because I think you totally forgot to. There was the whole confusion about did you bring Irina Kolyana into the meeting in the mansion with possibly the man with a monster arm who has been commissioning, just to remind our listeners from several episodes ago, is Strasny. Again, first item on his agenda, or on his resume, monster arm. Second item on his resume has been commissioning a series of dolls of who appears to be Irina Kolyana in increasing verisimilitude. Can't say that word yet. Lifelikeness, as done by Blinsky under threat of arson. So, and you guys,
Yeah, but she has her hood up. It's fine.
yeah, and you guys went to his place of work.
It's the last
Yeah.
place he'll look
Yeah.
for her.
He's no fun.
Is this
Is no
campaign? No.
Yay!
Oh,
Oh.
wow.
No, that's not true.
So, do you wish to confer at all, Dragon Huddle?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that we try to talk ourselves up, mention the witches and that we've cleared that out. Maybe see if he has other work
Yeah.
and like try and get
Use
in
that
with
to sort
him
of- Mhm.
as like, people who can get stuff done around town,
Because
problem
even
solvers.
if we can't get other work, we can learn sort of what Mr. Burgermeister's all about
We
and
can
what
ingratiate
he wants in the
ourselves.
town.
Ingratiate.
Ooh,
Yes.
that's not a thing that players have ever done in one of my campaigns. we are on new
They're mostly
territory
about
here.
excoriating themselves.
And
Did Vargas say anything to us?
you chatted with him briefly, and then you got a meeting with him. So, I think
who's charismatic? Like who can be charming?
Now, when you say
several of you are
charismatic-
charismatic people. I don't know
Yeah.
about your characters.
I'm My Brildish is charismatic, but not smart.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah. Okay,
minus
so
one
who's
smart.
charismatic and smart?
I don't know how
Well, my-
others rate.
My
rank.
intelligence is 0, but my charisma is -1.
My intelligence is +1. My charisma is +3.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Elevor.
hello,
Yeah,
Elevor.
Elevor.
Oh,
Elevor's the sweet talker.
You did,
Yep.
Eleanor. You so far you've been a pretty good job at being the face of the party when you need to be. It's always kind of
No.
mixed with your reluctant recalcitrance to actually talking to anyone. But remember, you're friends with that. You became really good friends with that priest. You can't remember the name of.
Yeah, that's right.
I do.
I feel like-
I do love Mr. Dumbledore.
Yeah.
I feel like a combination of like a balance between Elevor and his natural charisma and Lena knowing
Yes.
what this world is all about and explaining sort of
Yeah.
the,
Lena,
the
I assume
details
that
that
you
Elevor
are
wouldn't
because
know.
we're in Valaki. You're wearing like 2 hoods.
I think that she actually is probably here as herself.
Okay.
Not
Since
as
she's
Lady Two Hoods.
yeah, no, not as Lady Two Hoods. She figures that'll probably get more. It'll just make things a lot simpler if she is who she claims to be.
I just
Okay,
imagine
Elevor
2
is-
hoods. You have like a top hood and you have like a bottom hood, which in retrospect is really just a scarf.
Yes.
So-
Your dog.
Yeah, she-
I heard
she
you like
Sounds like
really-
me walking to work in the winter.
A
Mhm.
down hood and an up hood. I think
She does
Elevor's-
generally
oh, that's-
have that like Diablo 3 demon hunter
Mhm.
thing going on.
It's hard for me to take scarves seriously as like an accoutrement. I don't know about you all. This is a side where Tony talks about scarves.
I need those to. I need those to live. I live in Edmonton. Scarves are.
I also live in a
required.
cold climate, and I'm just going to tell the story. Erica's going to cut this out. Erica's not going to cut this out. When I was in college, I had a roommate who was eccentric. Dan can figure out who this roommate is based on process of elimination. And this roommate would frequently just kind of lounge around the house, not wearing a shirt, but wearing 2 scarves.
Excuse me.
I 100% know who that is.
I feel like you are being very unfair to scarves. by
Sipping
taking out
tea.
this one person's weirdness and like.
There was
And I'm just
not
going to
the
say,
scarf's fault.
I think about that person every time I put on a scarf. And I live in New England.
You do.
I put on a lot of scarves.
I have no trouble imagining that person still doing that.
He has moved to more temperate climes. So
there's tea and there's scarves, but there are no shirts.
nope. You know,
Okay.
it was college. It was a time of experimentation.
All I have to say is it's not the scarf's fault. Please don't hold it
It
against
said
the
no
scarves.
shirt, no service, not no scarves, no service.
We were at
Elevor
home.
rises from the side couch and walks to the middle of the room.
All right. Vargas Velakovic has been kind of playing with his dogs while you all settle in. And he turns and suddenly realizes, like, oh, yes, there's several people here for a meeting.
Master
I'm
Burgermaster.
gonna keep an eye on people like around the room, especially since
Yeah.
Arena's here. I want to
Okay.
make sure that nobody's lunging toward her or creeping toward her or whatever.
Lurching.
Kind of
Lurching.
adventure. Just I so hate to interrupt a guest, but I'm actually more than a burgermeister. You see, here in the city of Valaki, my family has ruled this town for many generations. I hold the title of Baron, much as we like to say the word burgermeister here in Barovia, but you may address me as your Baron.
Well, my sincere apologies, your Baron. I wanted to let you know that, you may have heard about some folks in your beautiful town here, coming under the influence of,
Soul cakes.
soul cakes. Thank you. That's sort of like whispering in my ear, like it's a soul cake.
Soul cake.
I
coming under-
believe that Lena just cuts in. So-
Yeah. She's
There's
sitting
no
in the
whispers,
back
that's
and
true.
she's
Yeah.
just like soul cakes.
They're soul cakes.
Yes, I have heard of these dream pastries, these soul cakes of which you speak. It's been unfortunate. They've been cutting into our tax base a little bit. Some people seem quite fixated on them and have no money left when tax collection time comes.
Yeah, no money and no children, in fact. And frankly, I would argue that it's a scourge.
Well, one is more important than the other in the operation of a town, you see.
Well, but children become grown-ups who then become taxable people.
Some of them.
Right. And you'll have more now because I've got some good noise. No, I've got some good news for you, your Baron.
Oh, you've done something about the dream cakes. You've found a way to produce them cheaper.
No, something better than that, actually.
You have brought me the recipe so that we may now create them here.
No, something better than that, actually.
Tell me more.
Well, it turns out that those dream crepes, those soul
crepes.
pastries,
Yes, please.
those
Cannon.
banana Foster sad pound drops are no longer an issue because we took care of 3 little old ladies in a bone grinder.
Yes, the windmill. This pleases me. You bring good tidings, adventurer. And did I catch your name? What was it?
It's Elevor.
Elevor. Well met.
Well met to you, Your Grace. So, given that these soul cakes are no longer an issue, that these even more so these hags, as they are no longer an issue. Yes, we thought that. I wouldn't be surprised with such a beautiful, booming, amazing city such as this. There's bound to be some issues that you would like to have someone take care of, for the sake of making this place even better than it already is.
Yes. We are. You come across Wallachia in a most fortunate time. Things are very prosperous here. We're just in a great upswing of wealth and profitability, and I appreciate the initiative that all of you have shown. Some adventurers, they would come to town and they would haggle over the price, and we would agree on a price, and then we would haggle over how much money up front and how much money they're going to walk away with, die with. But no, you people, you come to town and you tell me you have killed 3 hags and there is a windmill sitting waiting to be taken over, and this is news I can use. Isaac, please, fetch the petty cash. We'll arrange an appropriate reward for services rendered, and we can of course discuss future work. Isaac opens the door and steps out into the hallway. The door is still open, and you can hear there are people moving around in the hallway and in the rest of the mansion. But Isaac has left
Isaac
the room.
is Armbo, right?
I would like to make
Isaac is Monster Arm.
Okay.
I would like to make an insight check to see if I think that he noticed Irina sitting over in the corner.
You would like to make an insight check on Isaac Strasny.
Correct.
Oh,
I've been
Monster
watching
Arm
him as we've been in
enthusiast.
here and as he leaves.
Yep. Please roll an insight check.
Oh, God. That was a 2 on the die, so that's a 6.
You did not notice any reaction from Isaac Strasny.
Okay. Everything's cool.
All right. So, Baron Vargas Valakovich is waiting for Isaac to return with the money, and he looks around and he says, yes, so if we are to be in business together, please, some introductions. You are Elevor, of course, and the rest of your party, if you don't mind.
What? How? Yeah. Who do you want to hear from first?
Oh, he gestures at Crucible.
Hello, I am cast in Onatar's Crucible. It is a pleasure to meet you, your Baron. We are glad to have been of some service.
You are a fascinating creature, I'm sure, and I look forward to making your acquaintance. It's we're welcoming of all kinds here in Wallachia, aside from the Vistani. But yes, please. We hope that this can be a place, and perhaps a base of operations for you, adventure. And he points at Irina Kolyana. Irina pulls back her hood and says, I'm Irina Kolyana of Little Barovia. Perhaps you knew my father. He was the Burgermeister. My brother has recently become the Burgermeister of Barovia, Little Barovia. And the Baron says, "Oh, well, dreadful news. But congratulations to your party, to your family, and I hope that your father's passing was a peaceful one." Irina says, "It was not." The Baron takes that in stride and looks at Lena Delina. You look familiar.
Can I motion to, before Lena says it, I'm like motioning to Irina to be like,
yeah, Lena stands and pats Irina on the back, like she's consoling her, and then pulls the hood back over her head.
Smooth. Lena Delina, you gain inspiration.
Nice.
Baron, I'm not surprised that you do not remember me. I was quite young when I left the town, but I am Lena Dulina Tenebrew. My family lived here. long ago.
Well, Barovia is a strange land and people must wander. Vallaki always welcomes its people back to its home.
Thank you.
And he points to Aragal, the Vistani would-be assassin who has recently joined your party. And Aragal says,
he's our servant.
He nods.
He's not very smart.
Aragal nods and sits down and kind of tries to look as small as possible. The Baron then looks to Imra.
I'm Imra Soliana. This is my dog, Androdite.
Yes. Canines, I'm a fan as well. Though the Baron has 2 Mastiffs, so they're significantly, meaner looking than Androdite.
I'm sorry, sir. I don't want to interrupt the introductions, but if we were to have information about a member of the Guard who is shaking down business owners, taxpayers who would owe their tribute to you and intercepting that for their own purposes, that would be of interest to you, correct?
Oh, that would be of great interest to me and to my head of security, Izek, when he returns. We can't have any of that kind of behavior happening here in Vallaki.
Please allow us to gather more information on this before we involve him in this. But I think that we may have uncovered something.
Oh, is there any details that you can share at this point? You have been very busy. You have killed hags. You have liberated a windmill. You have uncovered possible corruption within my very ranks. And to think I just met you.
We
Well,
are very industrious.
We'd met previously, but yes.
Of course. And how rude of me, your final party member.
Hello, my name is Brildish. The pony out front is mine.
Very nice. Well, Izek should be back in just a moment, and we can discuss payment and future jobs. You can hear Izek kind of his heavy footfalls coming down the hall in your direction.
This is where Elivor says, when you were meeting all of us, your lordship, your grace, your
My Baron.
Your Baron, you mentioned that you're accepting of all kinds here. And I have to say, your guard, what a lovely specimen he is.
Yes, indeed. Very loyal. And he can shoot fire out of his monster arm. Keeps people in line.
Excuse me, monster arm? Is that what that is?
I don't really have a better term for it.
And, well, I have to say as a historian, I have never seen someone so unique in my life. A man with an arm that shoots fire.
Izek Strasny, the man with the arm that shoots fire, re-enters the den. He stands next to your robot friend. And he seems to be carrying a small kind of chest. Probably a little bit bigger than a bread box. And he moves across he closes the door, moves across the room, and puts it in front of the Baron. The Baron makes a show of opening the chest and counting out gold pieces and putting them into a little sack. And he holds up the little pouch and says, 50 gold pieces. I feel like that is a well-earned reward for adventurers such as yourselves. And I hope you will spend it on good things. Perhaps maybe you could make some of your purchases here in Vallaki. And he holds out the bag to Elivor.
Thank you.
Izek Strasny closes the little chest, kind of tucks it under his arm, and walks back over to the door where he's standing there. Kind of looks like probably he was pretending the chest was a little bit heavier than it actually was, based on how he's carrying it now. So the Baron says, "So I believe we spoke of possible future employment for enterprising adventurers such as yourselves."
Indeed. Is there some sort of service we could perform for you?
Well, there is always work to be had in Vallaki. We are preparing for the Festival of the Burning Sun in but 2 days' time, so perhaps if you're looking for just some basic day labor work, we could always use help with that. But I do have a more sensitive job that perhaps some people new to the town might be particularly well fitted to. Is that something you would be interested in hearing more about?
Certainly.
Well, there are other families here in Vallaki. Not all of them are as big a fan of my family as perhaps they should be or could be. You know how it is. Everyone, once you have power, the other lesser people, they want it. They want to take it from you, and they spread fear and uncertainty and doubt among the commoners, and it gets underfoot, and it really just puts a damper on the whole festivals. The festivals these are truly the most important things to uplift the spirit of the people of Vallaki and to keep us safe and free of ill will and discontent, and truly to be the gem in the land that is Barovia. And, well, I've had some issues. There's one family, and, there are rumors, and it's hard to know where do rumors come from? Where do rumors come from? That is a good question. But I thought perhaps... From where?
The rumor mill.
The rumor mill. Well, we do not have one of those in Barovia.
Do you have a grapevine?
Well, there are some wineries to the west of here, but not in Vallaki proper. But my current staff has had trouble searching out this issue, perhaps because they are known. But I am looking for somebody, perhaps to investigate. Investigate is a nice word. Let us use the word investigate. Investigate the Wachter family. You see, Lady Fiona Wachter, oh, well, we are not as good friends as we used to be.
Oh.
That is a shame.
Yes, it is a shame. And she has a book club, and my wife is not invited, and it's a whole thing. And I don't like it. And honestly, we will not stand for that kind of behavior in Vallaki, and I think it is indicative of something worse. So I think I would
helpful. I think this is perhaps something we will consider taking on, but it would be very helpful, your Baron, if we knew sort of the story leading up to the separation of the departure of your friendship, the reason that the friendship crumbled.
Well,
simply because that'll help us know what to look for.
It goes back several generations. There was someone who was betrothed, then somebody else broke off the betrothal, and there was a duel, and there were twins that were fighting, and then they had twins, and those twins were fighting, and there's a bit of a blood oath that goes back through my family and the Wachter family for several generations, but it really seems to be heating up now, is what I'm saying, and this book club issue is the last straw.
I see. So there was temporarily a period of time where you could sort of meet and be friends, and now...
Well, possibly never, but I like to think that there was the possibility that there could be.
So your wife was never a part of this book club?
No.
Okay, gotcha.
Can I use
But I suspect that this book club is more sinister than she lets on.
Wait, are there books in Barovia? I forgot.
There are books in Barovia.
All book clubs are sinister. That is what I have discovered.
Yeah. Can I use this monologue to size up Izek?
Yeah.
And maybe roll like a insight check to see if I can figure out what his deal is. Does he really seem loyal to him? Does he seem to have any affection for him? Or is it just sort of this is where the power is? Okay, that's a 14 on the die. So that is going to be a 22.
Nice.
So Izek Strasny has been standing by the door the entire conversation. And, if there's one thing that you can kind of ascribe to Isaac, aside from Monster Arm, he seems pretty bored by this whole situation. But he does seem, I don't know, he seems, loyal to the Burgermeister. He seems to, do his orders without any kind of questioning. And
does he seem like shrewd? Like, I feel like maybe because he has a monster arm, I was thinking he was more of a brute, but does he seem like he's kind of, on top of things?
I think it's hard to know based on his standing by the door behavior so far.
Okay, that's fair.
How is he at standing by the door? Is he good at standing by the door?
Yeah, he's great. Really, really fills in the door frame. He's, it would be real hard to get past Isaac and his monster arm if he was standing between you and the door. Yeah, you are literally...
Technically, he is.
You are literally trapped in this room with a man with a monster arm and some dogs.
Window.
Who gave us money?
Yeah, okay. To be fair, I think the dogs are by the window. So, yep, there are no other exits from this room. Just
Can I try to befriend this dog, not Androdite, that's next to me? I have a +5 to animal handling, so
I'm going to tell you.
Give it a shot.
I'm going to be so mad if you do this and I didn't get to.
Roll with disadvantage, because this dog is a jerk. This is right dog.
10.
The dog rebuffs your friendship. I'm just checking out if these dogs have canonical names.
It's not just right dog?
Right and left. Yeah.
Oh my god, left shark.
The dogs do not have canonical names in the adventure.
Man, but which one is right dog and which one's left dog? Is it are we facing
Sage
right dog?
or yeah.
Or does he just not care and he just calls whichever one is on his right dog? What a jerk.
Yeah, I think they're just always around. So
right.
Yes, as I was saying, if you could investigate the Wachter family in your time here in Valakian, we hope your time will be a pleasant one. Please stay for the festival. Festival of the Burning Sun, one of a kind. All will be well.
We wouldn't dream of missing it.
Yeah, sounds lovely.
I do enjoy a good festival.
Well,
is there any other business we have to discuss? Otherwise, Isaac can see you out.
Nope. That just wanted to report in on the hags, and the lack of dream cakes, and I think that's it.
We always appreciate good news here in Valakia, the jewel of Barovia. Big Barovia. He kind of gestures, and Isaac opens the door and steps into the hallway. And it looks like he's waiting for you to move through and out.
All right,
into
I want to do
mansion.
another insight check to see if he has noticed Irina. That time I rolled a 3 instead of a 2, so I'm up to a 7.
It does not seem like he has noticed anything as far as you can tell.
Yeah. I actually want to roll the same check.
Okay.
21.
Nice.
Do you want to? So he has not done anything so far, but I'm going to say that'll hold up for a little while.
Okay.
Elevor Crucible, you want to lead the way out of the mansion?
Sure.
I don't want to lead the way.
All right.
I'll lead the way.
Especially since you're asking.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to kind of travel with Irina or Aragal?
I want definitely want Irina in the middle, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like Irina and Aragal kind of in the middle with maybe Lena between them.
Sure.
And I can flank on one side.
All right.
Yeah.
You kind of flank through the doorway. It's awkward.
I mean,
I'm just gonna roll. Just gonna roll a check for something. No worries. Just doing this over here.
Yeah, you do you. It's fine.
All right.
Mhm.
Isaac kind of looks at the hooded figure of Irina with some kind of, it's hard to say if it's suspicion or curiosity, but the how many of you are there at this point? Like 7 of you?
Yeah.
7 of you and a dog parade out of the manor and rejoin your pony outside the Baron's mansion without incident.
hooray.
Isaac Strozny stands in the portico, watching you go.
Yeah, I
Keep
think we just
walking,
walk
don't
away.
look back.
Yep. Where do you want to go? Or just not here?
I think back to the tavern
Back toward
Okay.
that. Yeah.
to debrief.
All right. I can take you back to the tavern.
Back
You
I
want
think that
to
went as
life,
well as could reasonably be
back to
expected.
the tavern.
Indeed.
We're not dead.
That's always a good thing.
Aragal says, I have never felt so alive.
Poor
Easy, Aragal.
I think you need to get out more.
When is the Sun Festival?
2 days.
I believe it's
2
in 2
days.
days. Yeah.
Okay.
So theoretically, well, I don't know if we know how far the sunken city is, but I
don't
would
think
say,
we do.
You
yeah,
do not
unless
know.
it's within 1 day of travel, I'd say we probably.
I think
Well,
we
I don't know.
briefly didn't we ask Ariel last time about it, and he said he knew of it.
Indeed, he did.
Did he tell?
Indeed,
can,
I do, friends.
Can you
He
tell
says
us
it
how
much,
far away?
much too loud a voice. I think it would take most of a day to travel there.
Very
Hmm.
good.
So if we went, we would end up missing the festival, which
Is that
Yes, I
bad?
suppose when you calculated in the return trip, I was not really assuming we would be capable of a return trip if the legends are true.
This guy.
But you have saved my life, and I have decided my life is yours to waste as you see fit.
that's
Okay.
very generous of you. But let's not rush into anything.
We're just getting to know each other. It's not that
Getting
serious.
to know you. Getting to know.
Well, we do have some coin on us now. Is anyone in need of gear before we continue working on whatever we decide to work on?
I think some of us are.
Shopping
Yeah. I'm good,
montage.
Shop
Mhm.
makeover,
Actually-
makeover.
Tony, do
makeover.
I recognize the names that he mentioned? Is this another of the tentpole families of
Yes,
Vallaki?
you would know that the Wachter family is one of the tentpole families of Vallaki, and in
Mhm.
fact, probably the Wachters and the Vlakovich have kind of been in conflict with each other for generations.
Didn't we
Um,
meet the sons
And
in
you
the
did
Yeah,
bar?
meet-
the
you-
tavern.
You have met two sons of the Wachter family.
I arm wrestled them.
Both of them.
Are
Isn't that the
yeah.
two guys I arm wrestled?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
you
Yeah.
not just one, two. And so
Yeah.
you would definitely, Lena, have recognized the name of
Mhm.
Lady Fiona Wachter, who is the mother of Nikolai and Carl, local tavern customers.
Goers.
And I think you would probably know that there's a daughter. And yes, the Wachter family has been in conflict with the Vlakovich family for generations, and basically the Wachter family is also rich old money and believe that they should be running Vallaki. And the Vlakovich family feels differently.
The family we've been asked to check up on are those two boys that you made such an impression on in the tavern.
Ah, those bros.
Yes. Yes, so, perhaps that would be a good vector to start asking around. Although, to be honest, if we could be seen to be helping him while not necessarily shoring up his
Yes.
position, I have no loyalty to the man. If anything, he seems odious.
Well, I mean, I did try asking those two dudes some questions, and they were colossally unhelpful in every respect. So as far as asking questions and getting information, I don't know that they are necessarily going to be super helpful. Maybe if we catch them earlier in the evening before they're totes wasted.
Yeah.
That is.
Do any of
the-
you
that's the
magic
proper term.
users have the ability to convert liquor into not liquor so that they
tastes like
can
liquor.
drink without getting drunk and we can continue to use their
Let me
I
check
have
my.
protection from evil. Like,
Technically,
is
yes.
alcohol evil?
I don't have it prepared, but purify food and drink. would, in theory,
You could make it into virgin ale.
Does that do that, Dan?
So it says that all non-magical food and drink within a 5-foot radius sphere centered at a point of your choice within range is purified and rendered free of poison and disease. Technically, the effects of being intoxicated are the effects of being poisoned. So
is that as said in the Dungeon Master's Guide, or as learned in life?
Here's a thought.
Both.
Why not?
6 of one, half dozen the other.
I have speak with plants, and given that the alcohols are made from corn or
wine,
grapes,
it's mainly made from wine.
I could speak to the grapes and say, yo, could you maybe please not mingle with the bacteria there and make little alcohols?
Please
That'd
don't
be cool.
ferment.
Please don't ferment.
Wait, are you going to talk to the grapes in their bloodstream or before that's made into wine?
You know what I have to say to that, Tony? Why not both?
Well, I mean, there's some geographical limitations to the ones that are made into wine. Those grapes aren't present. But I mean, this raises one of those deep philosophical questions that people play Dungeons and Dragons for. Can you, if you have the ability to speak with plants, can you speak with plants that have been rendered into food? When does the grape cease to be a grape and become wine? Can you speak with wine?
Is wine a plant?
Is wine a plant? I don't think it is, but we can argue this out in character if you want.
I'm glad to find that Google.
Tony, who is your character?
God.
I'm everybody.
I'm glad to find a
Everybody
quick
else.
look at the internet shows us that
I'm Spartacus, says
we're not the
Aracol.
first-
I'm Spartacus, says Arena Colliato.
We're not the first people.
Yeah,
to try and
there's
figure out
no
if that
way this
spell
is the
applies
first
to
thing
alcohol.
on RPG Stack Exchange.
I also have Flame Blade, but I don't think that will help.
Yeah, Micah, the next level of Dungeon and Dragon is you Google this and then you cherry pick articles that support your claim and you email me at late at night passive aggressively.
Or just aggressively.
You already have someone who does that. Why do you need another?
One person?
You have someone who does that who doesn't wear a shirt and wears scarves and drinks
No, that's a
tea.
different person.
No, in my headcanon, they're all the same person.
Oh dear. To the stores.
To the stores.
Yeah.
Tuesday stores.
Shopping montage.
All right. So, did some of you plan ahead some things that you wanted to buy?
I have
I
some
don't want
random
anything.
stuff that if
I've
I can
decided-
So
Yeah.
let me
find
tell
it.
you, because I think this was a question: is what can you buy in Barovia?
I've decided, Tony, canonically, that Warforged eat those bags of 1,000 ball bearings.
What does that sound like? Like, are they grinding it,
Crunch,
That'd be
crunch,
awful.
crunch.
It doesn't actually
Just-
do anything.
or do you
doesn't
just pop them like sesame seeds?
Yeah, you just
Have-
eat
have
them.
you
Now
ever-
he just like rattles.
Have you
Oh,
ever
he-
heard one of those Rube Goldberg
Yes.
machines at a science
Yeah.
museum?
Exactly.
It sounds like that.
And each of those lasts a day.
Yeah. So he
Yes.
eats a ball bearing and you hear it roll down like several slides. And then at the end, he just goes, ah.
No wonder your stealth check is probably not great.
Yeah.
It's true. It's not good.
I was just gonna look up how bad are the stories in Valaki.
Yeah. So,
I mean, we found a
a
great
little
toy
bit
store.
of out of character shopping chat. I don't think that Lena needs anything. The only thing that is a little bit problematic sometimes is that she doesn't have any magical weapons, but I don't think they're going to be selling magical weapons at a random store in Valaki.
Also, in a pinch, I can help you with that.
So here's the limiting factor in Valaki, at least in terms of what is being kind of readily available. You may be able to place some special orders for other things, but in terms of things you can buy right now today, the main kind of general store in Valaki is known as it's called the how would you pronounce this? Arasek is the name of the family that owns it.
Arisk?
Arasek?
Arasek?
Arasek
Arasek.
Stockyard. They have kind of a general store and kind of a little warehouse area next to their general store where people park wagons and whatnot. And it is managed by Gunther and Yelena Arasek. And they sell, you're going to love this, items available in the adventuring gear table in the player's handbook that have a price of 25 gold pieces or less, but at 5 times the price.
Nice.
Of course.
Lena Delina, you don't even know that that's a ripoff because you've never been to another realm.
Yes. Yeah.
You were just
Like
like, this is just what things cost. This is the price of avocado on toast. I know nothing else. So, yeah. So, is there any of those types of things that you wish to buy right now?
I think so.
I would like a tomato.
Mm.
Is that in the player's handbook?
And is it less than 25 gold pieces?
I feel like there would be tomatoes in Barovia because it's a nightshade.
I was going to say it if you didn't. You already have inspiration. Just giving it away,
see.
Jane.
I was trying to find.
So is that a no on the tomato?
No, there's tomatoes and tomatoes.
Now,
Okay, so
which
my
one?
list
It's
is
very
just
important.
like mostly random stuff. Like I don't have a grappling hook. I would like to have a grappling hook or two. Some torches, since I assume I've used most of mine. Candles, rations, sealing wax, and chalk. Just because you never know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like those kinds of random things. And then, I mean, if they happen to have any healing potions or holy water, I'm all over it. But I'm guessing that's not a thing we're going to find since that's
I think those are
worth a
not
little more.
available over the counter in Barovia. You need
gotta
like
have a
a,
prescription.
You need a prescription.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can make holy water, but I need to have some heads
you
up.
need water first.
Yeah, I need alcohol, which I purify, and I turn to holy water.
Hmm.
That's literally how it works.
I mean, does anyone not have a ranged weapon? Because you could pick up a hand crossbow.
Ooh,
It would
I
be
want
very
that.
expensive.
Yeah, they have a
but-
whole wall of hand crossbows at this general store.
How
I do
much
have
for a hand
a few
crossbow?
javelins, so I'm probably good.
So they're 25 gold pieces.
Oh.
So they're like the highest ticket items they would have.
Yeah.
That'd be 125. I also want to know, Tony, is there? I don't assume that doesn't include like. I'd like to buy some
Taxes.
Gems.
I have 180
I think
gold.
gems probably you're going to have a harder time to find because they're not going to be. Now you do have some gems, right?
Yeah, there was.
Yes.
I don't think there were no diamonds on that list, were there?
No.
Nope.
I need diamonds.
Okay.
Diamonds on your neck.
At some point, I need diamonds worth 300 gold pieces if I ever want to prepare a spell that lets me bring one of you back from death,
Which we would like a lot.
which would be handy.
I think you're not going to find that until someone's dead.
Well, laid it out there.
Oh, when they died, their body turned into diamonds.
Now you have
We
a
just
choice.
wait millions of years.
Yeah, Dan, find a piece of coal and every day crush it with your
it
little
just a little
robot
bit.
hands a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit.
To get some,
I
like, those
feel like we should have manacles. I can't say
Ooh, that's a
why,
good
Monocles.
idea.
but I feel
I like
like
that.
we should have them. And monocles.
Mm.
I'm buying a hand crossbow.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Please
removing
just
it
keep
from my
track of your
currency.
purchases. The tricky thing here is these do add up because everything in Valaki is a ripoff. I will tell you, it is unlikely you're going to find a significantly better price store in Barovia because there's no such things as bargains in Barovia.
I mean,
what's the exchange?
technically, folks could try to either haggle or see if they have anything we can do for them to,
You could.
yeah.
Do I? Oh, I just went ahead and made the 25 gold.
125.
It's 125. It's at a
Yeah.
5-time markup, so it's quite expensive.
Oh, that's a lot of my gold.
Don't you have ranged things that you can do as cantrips?
Mm,
I thought you could throw
And
fire.
also, yeah. So the thing is that like it also would be mundane damage. So there are probably cases where it wouldn't be helpful,
oh, that's a
but
good- well,
there are definitely going to be situations where like you're just far, and if you don't have the ability to do range.
yeah, I can do ranged. So undo.
Yeah, I'll stick with my javelins.
I really don't need anything other than a tomato.
Now Lena's going to buy some manacles.
All right.
Tony, how much is a tomato?
Tomato is 1 gold piece, which is a ripoff.
Mother of pearl.
Barovia.
Wait, it's not in the equipment handbook.
I don't think it
A
is.
spyglass
I
is
spelled it both
1,000
ways.
gold pieces.
It's
Well, it's got
expensive. Yeah,
moving
put that
parts. Yeah, it's got
together.
moving parts. Artisans need to live too, Jane.
1,000?
I mean, it's got little like pieces of glass. Do you know how hard it is to make glass in old timey D&D times?
Do you know how hard it is to make glass in my office? It's impossible.
Pretty hard.
Okay.
I don't know. This feels like we went from a hypothetical to very specific.
You could buy 1 million ball bearings for that amount.
Yeah, how
Crucible
are a
would be
million ball
done.
bearings going to tell you what's happening 6 miles away?
I don't know. You just throw them and then see if anyone says "ow."
Yeah.
Are they made of plants?
No, they're made of. They're made
Can
of.
I talk to the ball
metal.
bearings?
Yeah.
Speak with ball bearings is a new spell I invented.
I can also.
I will allow you to swap speak with plants out for speak with ball bearings. This is one of those things where you give the
Very
players
generous.
what they want, and then they realize.
So question, is there anything that we can use to rig up something so that we are notified if a vampire tries to crawl in our window? Like,
I mean,
can we
we have
like
rope.
rig something?
So-
Maybe like a unicorn rug.
Could we have like a tarp?
Couple options. Firstly, I can like
Thank you.
build. I can build almost anything, at least like as long as some part of it is metal. But I also have a spell that I could prepare.
Oh, so
that-
why don't you build a spyglass
I
and then
can't-
sell it for
it needs
1,000
to-
gold pieces?
It needs to be worth under less than 100 gold pieces.
Oh, there you go. They
Why
thought of
don't
that
you
one.
build 10 1/10ths of a spyglass?
That's not how a spyglass valuation works, Jamie.
I do also have a spell that I can prepare that's essentially like a glyph of warding, but it is potentially its limitations in terms of what kind of effects it might have.
I'm also going to buy a second lock.
That's a great idea.
A lock that belongs to us.
Oh, so in case you guys
Aw.
all join a gym. Yeah.
I feel like that's a sign of trust.
Mhm.
That we're all locked in together.
Yeah.
They even
Just
they have,
like-
they have a special Lino where you can get it engraved with 5 initials. So-
Oh, that's so cute. I mean, like there has to be. How much does a tarp cost, Tony?
1 gold piece.
Okay, let's get a tarp.
As much as a tomato?
Yeah.
Let's get a tarp, and I guess they would be mad if we like hammered it up there. But
Yeah,
also
please.
that's probably
Yeah,
gonna
you guys
happen.
should. You guys, I just want to point out there's one hotel in Valaki. If you get banned from this hotel, the alternative is to sleep in the woods.
Into the woods.
Yeah, we've heard bad things about
And you know
the
what the woods are full of? Wolves.
wolves.
The
Yeah,
less
wolves
than
are
great.
full of wolves.
Okay, so
I mean, we
you
can
have
buy a bell for 1 gold piece, and we could probably buy some string.
So just hanging there.
You could. I mean, there are windows. For example, if you put bells on the windows, that would, alert you if they
So
were
we
open.
just,
Vampires
like,
are scared
lace-
of bells. That's what I hear.
We just lace string through it and then hang a bell on it.
Yeah.
Also,
So
just everyone make a note. All future stealth checks for the party are at disadvantage because you guys sound like a bag of bells and ball bearings being dropped down the stairs.
To be fair,
All
two
right.
of us don't sleep anyways, so I don't think that we are necessarily in trouble on
Yeah,
that
that's
front.
fair. That's fair. Okay, we don't necessarily have to. I take back my purchase of a tarp.
No refunds.
Instead, I just have manacles and a lock, which is an interesting set of purchases to make.
Not the weirdest sale they've had today. Stockyard.
I am sure that it is not. Yeah, I don't know. Do we need to? Yeah, I think that, as far as mundane gear goes, that's probably.
Mm-hmm. Erica, did you buy some of the various adventuring gear? You said you wanted candles, rope.
Yeah, I'm
Torches.
adding up the cost right now because I had some money on my own character sheet, but
Sure.
I think most of our party's money was.
I think even at the horrible Barovia markup, that shouldn't cost too much, right?
no. I mean, what does it work like? How many copper pieces to a silver pieces, and then how many silver
One.
pieces?
Oh
to a
God!
It's 10 coppers to a silver, 10 silvers to a gold. So 100
Yeah.
copper. A copper's a penny to a gold
Gotcha.
piece.
All right.
Yeah, that part makes sense. It's then when they have Elysium.
Freaking Electrum.
Electrum.
Leave that out.
Yeah. I forget, what did you guys end up taking from the Vistani? Did you take the money that had the spooky face on it?
Did
No.
No, we took the
we took the-
non-spooky money.
Non-spooky
Yeah.
money.
Okay. There might be repercussions for spending spooky face money, but now we'll never know.
Good.
We specifically were like, we shouldn't take that. It will be spooky and people won't like it.
Should we buy
Yeah.
a
It'll
bunch of...
cost you 2 gold for a tomato.
Should we buy a... Should we buy a bunch of extra hoods? Is that the thing that we need?
Just in case
Yeah.
we accumulate more
Yeah.
NPCs.
Dan,
for all of
Dan,
our people, yes.
Dan, for 1 gold piece, you buy a 6-pack of hoods.
Yes, that's a deal.
The one
They're
deal
matching.
in Barovia.
They're matching. It costs a lot more to get them embroidered with your logo. But so
There's part of me that feels like one of us should get like a fine set of clothes, like just like super dapper, like maybe Elevor because he's the one making all of our persuasion checks.
Elver is a druid, so he basically smells like moose feet most of the time. Sorry, I'm
We
walking.
could get a
smelled what
vial
it's
of perfume to take care of that.
Now you smell like Barovian perfume and moose feet. So,
Which, I mean, Barovian perfume probably smells like
moose feet
moose feet
yeah.
already.
is the scent of the season.
I can't explain why, but there's something really funny to me about the idea of just buying a ladder in D&D. Like,
I mean, we
there's
have
so
Pony.
It's very useful. There's a lot of things in a dungeon where having a ladder would be helpful. It's just do you walk around with a ladder for like five years until you get the chance to use it? It's not like a folding ladder. It's a ladder.
I mean, we have Pony.
Is it like a folding table?
Nope, it's not a folding
carry
ladder.
around a cave.
I took that table away from you. That was not a folding table either. That was like an IKEA kitchen table that you guys carried around the tunnel for like 4 hours until you forgot about it.
It was amazing. I miss my table.
Actually, so if these are the prices that things go for here, and Crucible can make things that are worth up to 100 gold pieces, theoretically that would go for up to 500 gold pieces. Like, could we just like...
Do you want to just quit the adventuring life and go into the gentle life of shopkeeping?
Yeah, like just buy them out.
I mean, it's you don't know what he's willing to buy for, and you have to do you got to do the market research. You got to buy a place to. You don't know what zoning is like in Vallaki. You don't have the relationships.
Still cost me metal that's equivalent to the value of it, but at the markup, we still come out ahead.
Well, but where are you going to buy that metal?
Mining.
I'm a dungeon master. I am always one step ahead of you.
We're going into
We need a
mining.
business plan.
Do not
Yeah.
challenge
Proper
us,
business
Tony
plan.
Sindelar.
Do not challenge me, players. I mean, except continue to challenge me. That's where the fun is.
Yeah. All right. So I think that
we have decided you have heroically made some purchases at the local stockyard. You are now well equipped. You have considered and put on hold for now the idea of opening up an artisanal metalworking shop. But it's good to know what you might do with after you've vanquished evil here in Barovia, Big Barovia. And no doubt you have made choices about what will happen next in this adventure. And so as they ring up the bill and you find out how regressive the sales tax is in Vallaki, your mind starts to wander to what you will do next, what rights you will wrong, what injustices you will justify, what deeds you will do.
So I'm thinking about the skill sets of this group, and one of them is to subtly manipulate
that's
book club.
the darkest humor that we've used yet.
One of them is to subtly manipulate a book club into allowing blood rivals to either join it or make sure that they're not up to anything bad. And one of them is to, as far as we can tell, jump into a haunted lake.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we might be better suited for jumping into a haunted lake.
Yeah.
I just also like to point out for our listeners who are, they're building one of those like story wheel charts that show how a dungeon master builds tension and suspense. We started with child in peril. We then escalate from there to book club that someone is mad at. This is, someone's going to write their dissertation on this. That's
it's
real
called
unfortunate.
A book club on the mantelpiece.
Yes. Also, this may be a thread that we don't remember after this session. This happens here sometimes.
I think we've said the words book club enough that we'll remember some of it.
Mhm.
Be rattling around in there like a
Like
a
Sounds
a
like
ball
ball
bearing
raisin.
in Crucible's belly.
I don't know. That's probably what you guys said last meeting. Is like, we'll remember why we set up a meeting with the mayor. We've got a plan.
All right. So
To the
I mean,
drowned
where do we
city?
want to go next?
In
Yeah,
terms of
let's go to
the book
city.
club and the family, I think we've kind of determined that the two sons are not super helpful, but there's also
Right.
a daughter. So maybe we could, if we wanted to look into the family stuff, just since we're here, we could track down the daughter and maybe ask her.
Crucible is all for ironing out familial drama, but is also not 100% sure how that gets us any closer to confronting Strahd von Zarovich.
Yeah,
I think
The devil himself.
partially it's because we know that Izek has some sort of weirdness with Irina, but he is the right-hand man of the Burgermeister. So like
Literally.
theoretically, if we'd want to do anything to Izek, we would have to either be enemies of all Vallaki or drive a wedge between them somehow.
And if we okay, so Brildish really wants to go to the sunken town and see if she can find that weapon. However, if we leave, there is also still a chance that Isaac Strasny will burn down the toy shop, and there's a cute little purple tutued monkey living there, and that's very important to Brildish.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I don't know necessarily that we want to bring Irina with us to the haunted lake,
Yeah.
but
Oh.
I don't want to necessarily leave her here alone while the whole Izek situation.
Aragal takes this moment to insert him into the situation. I should be clear. The haunted lake is Lake Zarovich, north of here. You have seen it, have you not? That is where you rescued my niece, Arabelle. The land to the south here with the sunken city is more of a haunted swamp.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
Good
important
clarification.
information.
Or wetlands.
A fen, if you will.
I won't.
You will.
Same.
You will.
Not
I
everybody's
know.
a big. Not
That's a
everyone's a
different
big
side of
a big
Crucible I
Fen
wasn't
fan
expecting.
like Dan or Crucible.
my apologies. It's very embarrassing for a Barovian to mix up a haunted swamp with a haunted lake.
Truly the highest of all disparagements.
Faux pas.
I worry. I worry about Irina either way. Like if she comes with us, obviously her life is in danger. But if she doesn't come with us, her life is
Obviously,
in danger.
her life is in danger.
Right. So, I'm not.
Aragal, a question. Do you think it would be safe to leave Irina in the care of the Vistani, or is that murder thing out on her too?
I am not sure of the devil's intentions toward her. I am not privy to all of our, but you believe
That sounds like a no.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I am.
it doesn't seem like a good idea. Is what I'm saying.
I am very worried by those dolls
Also,
that were being made
Yeah.
There's
increasingly
the whole situation
realistically.
where I can't return to the Vistani because I'm supposed to kill you or die trying, and you can't return to the Vistani because you're supposed to be
Murder.
They're supposed to
dead
kill
or
us.
not here. So it's kind of a moot question.
So there is
Mhm.
basically no place safe to leave Irina.
But maybe if we were able to figure out
Safety in
this whole,
Barovia is a relative concept.
True. This whole thing with Isaac Strasny, then maybe we would be one step closer to finding a place that she could hunker down.
Mm-hmm. There
Does it-
is, to further complicate things, and I was also going to suggest you might consult your
Oh,
notes for
no.
other open plot threads. And a reminder, this is a sandbox adventure. There are a million plot threads. You don't have to do all of them. Literally, almost everybody you could bounce into has some chore that they need you doing. Some of them are more epic than others, but all are deadly. There is the town to the west of here, the fortified town of Kresk, which I believe Irina's brother thought might be even safer than Vallaki, but is clearly further, and it's unclear. He was operating on some limited intel.
And there's a winery there too.
And the
The
Abbey is not far from there.
winery is to be the Abbey is right outside Kresk, or maybe you could say it's part of Kresk. The winery is a good deal south of that.
I mean, maybe an abbey would be a good place.
And there's also the tower.
Yes, and there is also there is a tower,
Ricky's tower.
Rictavio's tower, currently probably not inhabited by Rictavio because he saw him at the inn this morning. But Rictavio has some kind of tower on a pond, I believe it was described as, also
There's
west
a
of here.
pond, a swamp, a lake, lock.
I think he specified it might have been
Panama.
Lake Baratok, as to different from Lake Zarovich.
Are they both haunted? I assume yes.
I mean, it's
It's
but like a
Barovia.
low level haunted.
Arena, do you have any thoughts? What do you think?
For now, I think it is best if I traveled with you, even if you were to go somewhere perilous.
Fair.
Yeah,
It seems like
me too.
we do not have very many friends in Barovia so far.
Agreed.
Well, okay. What time is it currently?
Well, let's say it's about midday.
Okay.
It's
So-
solidly lunch.
So regardless, we're not going to be heading out to the haunted swamp
Mm-mm.
right now because it's unlikely that we would make it there. Well,
Today.
yeah, but also there's no there to arrive at. Like, I don't
It's
know
not
if there
like a
is any
safe
sort of
place.
encampment
There's
or
not
town.
like a great B&B just on the edge of
Right.
the haunted swamp. All right, guys, quick.
Swamp
Uh,
B&B.
Yeah, so what are the best swamp themed hotel names that would be just outside the drowned city? Can anybody?
Sea of Reeds. I got nothing.
Wow.
Red Raft Inn. Let's see. Can I do more than that?
Radisson, but
Mm.
like with rat.
Ooh, the Ratison, yeah.
The Holiday Inn.
mm.
God.
Ooh. All right.
We would also have accepted Holiday Inn. So,
Ah.
Mhm.
All right.
all right,
So,
enough of that.
I don't know.
So
Do we want
maybe,
to put it to a vote?
well, what if we tried to get more out of the drunk brothers before they get drunk tonight?
Maybe they could even point us toward where their sister might be.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it would be trivial. In fact, Lena, you know where the Wachter house is in
Right.
the town of Valaki.
Yeah. Should we just go knock on the door and say, we're here to join the book club?
You've done dumber things.
Fair.
Haha, take that, players.
Maybe Broldish can arm wrestle them for a dinner invitation
Ooh.
to go and have a nice meal at the family home
I could totally
Let's-
do
and
that.
talk with the matriarch.
Yeah, let's go talk to the brothers.
Okay. It just so happens the brothers are having lunch at the Blue Water Inn, the tavern where you are still staying. You guys haven't checked out of the Blue Water Inn yet either. If you're going to leave and go to the, probably there may be.
You can never check out.
Well, I mean, they probably want you to pay for the windows. Or at least like clear your stuff out of the room so they can rent them to somebody else while you guys are off dying in a drowning city. So yeah, the brothers are there having a early afternoon drink, eating some wolf steak sandwiches at the Blue Water Inn. Seems like there's not nearly as many people here as there tend to be in the evening. Rictavio is, of course, at the bar having a very animated conversation with the barkeep, Erwin Mardukov. You overhear little bits of it. Erwin, you are a good guy, and this is why I promised tomorrow I tell you my super theory of super everything. I feel like I can trust you. Back to you guys.
I will.
We
I will walk-
hadn't heard from Rictavio in a while. I was sad. Now I
was
feel
time.
great. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I got it out of my system.
All right. I'll walk over to the table where the brothers are having their lunch and
Bro!
say, "Hey, how's it going? Are they drunk?"
Things are great. Nikolai holds up like a large sandwich that he's already taken several bites out. You want some?
Yeah, I take a bite.
It is messy.
Yeah,
Kind of
that's-
sweet.
That's fine.
It is literally basically just a steak between two pieces of bread.
That sounds perfect. I won't even wipe any of the juice that I'm sure is running down my face. I just plop down at the table and I wave my friends over. I say, I want you to meet some people. These are my friends. This is Lena and Crucible and Imra and Elivor. Like, these are the guys. This is my gang.
Nikolai and Carl are waving and like high-fiving. You all, yeah, it's always good to meet people in Barovia. Any bro of a bro is a bro of us.
Hello, fellow bros.
Broldush has told us that you're a big deal in Vallaki.
Yeah, our family practically runs this place. Welcome. It's good to meet new people here in Barovia. Bro?
Yeah.
Good to meet you as well.
I was wondering if you keep talking about how cool your fam is and stuff, and I would love to meet them. Any chance we could finagle a dinner invitation and come and hang at your place?
Why don't you give me some kind of persuasion check there?
Why don't I?
And I'm going to say with advantage based on the relationship you have built up with the Wachter brothers so far.
Pleased to be bringing entire group with me to your house. We will invade.
That's a 20.
Wow.
Heck yes.
Nice.
And if they look like they're bulking a little bit, I'll be like,
No. Nikolai gives Carl
it.
kind of a curious, inquisitive look, and Carl gives him a nod, and Nikolai says, absolutely. Our mother, Lady Fiona, she is hosting tea this afternoon. I could make introduction. She always eager to meet newcomers to Vallaki. She is very important. I say this, yes?
We like to meet important people. We think it's
Indeed, they're usually very interesting.
Let me finish up here, and we'll pay our tab and walk you right over.
Why, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, you have a couple minutes while that happens if you need to do anything.
I'd like to run up to our room and change from my leather armor to my chain shirt.
Okay.
Is this your formal wear?
This is freshly polished.
Guys, how does tea work?
Is this a chain shirt affair?
I'm gonna take off my helmet and wear my new hood, I think.
Crucible is technically always wearing his armor, so
Elivor casts Druidcraft to not only sort of rinse himself off, but create a pleasant smell that surrounds him.
Oh,
Patchouli.
Yes.
Who said pleasant?
I like patchouli. Don't come for patchouli.
All right. We're going to go to a new map. This never happened.
wow.
New map.
So excited.
McDonald's.
How many XP do we get for going to a new map?
Jane, I like this new XP grubbing version of Planner. This is new for you. So Nikolai and Carl walk you over to the family house. Where's my description of the family house? This is a lovely description of a house. The house is known as Wachter House. House spelled Haus because Barovia.
Mm-hmm.
And here is the description of the Wachter House as written in the adventure and read pseudo-dramatically by myself. This house seems disgusted with itself. A slouching roof hangs heavy over furrowed gables, and moss-covered walls sag and bulge under the weight of the vegetation. As you study the house's sullen countenance, you hear the edifice actually groan. Only then do you realize the extent to which this house hates what it has become. So this is certainly probably second only to the Burgermeister's mansion in terms of size and general wealth that it projects, but this is not nearly as well upkept as the Burgermeister's mansion.
Is the house alive?
The house is not alive so much as it's just sad and poor repair.
Sorry, it just reminded me of a campaign we had where a friend of Tony and I
kept animating a house.
Another player by making an illusion of a house that would talk to him, but only him.
Griefing players. It's not just for Dungeon Masters. So, remembering how events went this morning, Aragal asks, do you want me and Arena to come in for this one? How's this gonna work?
I don't know. How about you stay with Pony Cindelart?
Yeah.
You got it. He salutes awkwardly.
And we could. I
say
turn
to
to
him,
Arena and say, Arena,
"Okay,
would you
cool
like
it."
to come inside with us? If you want to stay outside, that's fine too. If anything happens, Pony can alert me instantly.
I don't know. It might be crowded.
Why don't you keep an eye on Aragal?
Yeah, seriously.
Mm-hmm.
She bows
also,
gracefully.
Pony Cindelar, if he has a psychic connection with you, if anything goes hinky, he would be able to let you know.
Excuse me, Jane. Pony Cindelar. Pony Cindelar is a celestial pony in another plane of existence.
He's non-celestial pony.
Pony Cindelar is a non-celestial, is a
normal
mundane pony.
I mean, it is another plane of existence.
Jane.
It's just a normal ass plane.
Jane, I would like to apologize that my correction in and of itself required a correction.
It's corrections all the way down.
Yes.
Androdite can stay out here too and bark if anything fishy happens.
No one ever got murdered at 2:00 in the afternoon at tea in Valaki.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
I
like
could
that
also
might not
stay
be right.
outside and bark.
He said, staring into the camera, dead-eyed.
Oh no, the eyes, they're so dead.
Those are just my normal eyes. What do I need to say about the inside of the house?
Inside of this house hates
Inside of
itself.
this house. So the main door is on the southern side. There is, you love it, a vestibule.
Foyer.
Antechamber.
And Nikolai and Carl live here, so they just kind of walk you right in. And Lady Fiona Wachter is sitting, kind of preparing. It looks like a nice little tea in this kind of sitting room off to the left of where you enter. You see that on your map?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is, again, it's a nice house. There are servants walking around, doing stuff, fetching things, especially now that there's a bunch of people showing up for tea. But it's not nearly as much of a production as the Burgermeister's mansion. It does not look like they are preparing for a festival here. But Nikolai and Carl come in, and they one of them kind of trundles over to his mom and whispers something to her, and she kind of gives him a disbelieving look, and then turns and looks at all of you, and through a kind of stern, severe face says, "Welcome, travelers. Please come in."
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks.
So nice to
Your
be
lovely
here.
Yes, your lovely sons have provided me with many an hour of delightful entertainment down at the bar.
Well, our family is the de facto welcoming party here in Valaki. I have been lobbying for so long to make that an official role, but the government and I don't see eye to eye. But please come in. Feel free to situate your tokens around the living room area there.
Thank you. Your house is very... Yes.
So there is an ornate kind of dining table here. There's a crystal chandelier hanging above. Things are a little dusty, but there are 8 chairs. Their backs are adorned.
There are 8 chairs.
There's arched windows with latticework of iron that looks out onto the kind of foggy gardens around the estate. The stuff on the table looks like it was nice at one point. Like there's some kind of tarnished silverware, and the plates are a little chipped. It was clearly probably more expensive than anything you've seen, but not well kept up. And she's barked some orders to some servants, and they're scurrying back and forth as servants are bringing out tea and pastries and setting it out at the table.
What kind of pastries?
Dan, roll pastry check.
Yes.
Rolling. Whoop. 11 pastry check.
They look delicious.
They're not dream pastries though, right?
With an 11, I don't know if you
All
can
right,
be sure.
I'm rolling. Oh,
I'm trying
God.
to decide, Pearldish is not very smart, but she's kind of wise. So I'm like, half and half. Does she just start shoving pastries in her mouth, or
You literally saw a windmill where children were ground into pastries yesterday, Broldish.
That's
yesterday.
That was a whole 24 hours ago.
True. Yeah.
It was like 18 hours
Do
ago.
you know what we've seen since then?
Not much. You mainly went shopping.
A vampire?
That was actually, I think that was before that.
It was
A guy
Yeah.
trying to kill us?
Yeah, he's outside now. he's watching your horse.
Monster arm?
You had seen him before.
All right.
I got a 7, so I
up,
also
Roldish.
don't know
All
about
right.
these pastries.
I'm not. I'll pretend to nibble on a pastry a little
All right,
bit.
so far the high roll is an 11.
Somebody else want to roll a perception check just to check these pastries out?
Yeah.
19.
26.
Okay.
All right, Lena.
Jane, woo!
Lena, you are confident these are store-bought.
Which store?
There's only one
Sorry,
store.
Walmart. You're right.
Walmart.
We
Yeah.
established that.
Yeah.
But not Hag store.
No.
Hags
no.
are us.
Okay. Lena gives them a wave.
Okay.
It's like, yeah.
Well, it seems like you have earned my delightful son's trust. It's always good to have adventures. Please stay a while, rest. Perhaps you can regale me with some stories of the world beyond Vallaki, and I can tell you of our little town here, of which we are so proud.
I would love to hear about your town. It doesn't seem little. It seems very large to me.
You
It's
are
impressive.
too kind. Adventure? What? I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name. If I knew it.
I'm Broldish. These are my friends Crucible, Lena, Imra, and Elevor. I gesture to
Mhm.
everyone.
Very efficient.
hmm And yes, several of us are very new to town and to Big Barovia, in fact, and just trying to get the lay of the land here in the, what is it called, the Jewel of Barovia.
Well, some people would call it that. Some people.
Which kind of people?
It's best not to get into such ill conversations. This is tea. Let us be merry.
Oh, okay. Well, then tell us something merry about the town.
Well, my family has lived here for generations, and I think you could, almost anyone in town you could ask would agree that the Wachter family has brought everything that is good that has ever happened to this town to it. We are a
neat.
noble line who is full of heroes and good men and women who have done nothing but to serve the people of Vallaki and help it prosper,
What kind
despite
of good
the
stuff,
troubling environment in which we work.
Oh, is it troubling?
It is complicated.
Maybe you could explain it to me because I'm not so great with complicated things.
Well, I suspect you're a bit more of the brute force. I know how it is. You've met my sons.
I like your sons. They're good fellas. Good bros.
This is good. You have a good judge of character. I think you could be very useful to us. You see, is it possible that you might be looking for work here in Vallaki, that you might wish to stay a little while and have expenses that would need to be covered?
We definitely like to be useful. That is a thing that is true.
Oh, I
of
have no
our
doubt.
crew.
And you like things to be broken down for you very simply, is it?
Yes.
Well, let me make it as simple as I can. The Burgermeister is up to no good, and the Wachter family, we feel it is our duty to the people of Vallaki, to the land of Barovia, to challenge him and keep him in line.
Can I just a quick clarification? I'm so sorry. When you say Burgermeister, do you mean the Baron?
The so-called Baron.
Okay,
The
just wanted to make
so-called
sure.
that is in dispute, sir.
Okay, so it's like a term thing as well.
The self-styled Baron, but the Wachter House does not acknowledge that barony. But yes, one Vargas of Valakovich. It is not untrue that the Valakovich family has at times had some good leaders, but that line has run its course, and now we are saddled with the descendants of the descendants, and it is time for new leadership here in Vallaki, for a new Vallaki to emerge from the ashes and take its proper place in the land Barovia. And I think
Is she gonna burn down Vallaki?
I think you could be instrumental in that.
I want
He
to make
seems well protected, what with that Isaac Strozny that he keeps so close to him.
Isaac Strozny and his, well, there's no delicate way to say it, his monster arm. I see you're familiar, perhaps with the man or at least the legend. The linchpin of his control. And, no doubt, you perhaps know, an evil and cruel man. A man... Well, you've come to my house, you've joined me for tea. We can all agree that what is said here we can say in confidence, and it is simply words over tea. But here is the deal. I would like you to kill that man.
Please clarify which man.
Isaac Strozny, the man with the monster arm.
Two birds, one
Baron's,
stone.
right.
That would be no small task.
I want to make an insight check and see. Never mind.
I'll make an inside check.
Broldish!
That was an 8. My rolls today have not been great, except for my persuasion with my bros. That was.
I got the
was great.
exact same thing as I got on my pastry roll.
I'd say that she seems, Crucible, she seems extremely sincere about her desire for you to kill Isaac Strozny. You have been in conversation with Lady Fiona Wachter for what? Like 8 minutes?
Yeah,
Or
she
so.
didn't
Yep.
exactly dance around this.
Yes, and she has asked you to commit murder on her behalf of a allegedly evil man with a monster arm.
I was more looking to see if, like, when she was talking about her family and her family's history, trying to get a vibe of, is she really wanting to help Valaki, or is this just about her family's power and position?
Seems like she has a pretty high opinion of her family, and her words seem a little bit more hollow whenever she talks about the town or the people of Valaki or Barovia.
Okay. Gotcha.
Seems like you wouldn't need a very high insight check to suss out that
I got an 8.
Lady Fiona
so-
Wachter is interested in power and elevating her family
All right.
above all else.
If someone were to, perform such a deed, I'm sure that the entire weight of the Burgermeister's office would fall upon them, and they would need allies to protect them from whatever fallout might rise up.
Indeed, I would. Allies that would be well compensated for their services. Allies that would help me ruling as perhaps a council of, how many of you are? 5 of you? A council of 5. To rule over this land and perhaps to build something new here in Barovia. Barovia, a land that seldom sees anything new.
What kind of something new?
A land free of. Close your eyes and think of it with me. A town.
Brill just closes her eyes immediately.
Mini
Elvor
balls
does
as
too.
far as you can see.
A town free of festivals.
Well, hold on. Now I'm in.
What?
These
Yes,
insufferable
Tell
festivals.
us about these festivals. What we have not
Every
been here
week
for one.
with the festivals, it's all a scam. The Burgermeister, he has the townspeople running around for these compulsory festivals, and he says they protect us from the devil's straw. No one is that stupid. Even the townspeople can't believe that.
So what is it for then?
It's just a charade to keep the people busy, to keep them in line, to keep them the more foolish and dim-witted ones entertained,
Oh,
so that
it's
they
like
do
a
not
Dumbo
see the.
feather.
I am not familiar with that reference, but it is to keep them busy and to lest they have idle time and their eyes gaze upon the empty leadership that is the so-called Baron Burgermeister Vargas Valakovich, who has done nothing for the town and nothing for the people.
Okay, so not quite a Dumbo feather, more like a big Victorian collar.
I am again unfamiliar with your reference, adventure, but I understand you come from strange lands.
Indeed. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, that was it. I'm done teasing Tony.
For now.
What
Right.
can you tell us about Isaac? And does he have a house outside of the Burgermeister's compound? Does
I
he have
believe
other
he-
associates?
What does he do
He
for fun?
he keeps quite close to the Burgermeister. I believe he stays in the mansion. He is occasionally on rounds for tax collection purposes, but he would probably be with other guards. That's perhaps the only time you'll see him out of the Burgermeister's sight itself. But you seem enterprising. I suspect this is not an unsolvable problem for adventurers such as yourself.
I'm curious what other things, terrible acts this man has done to deserve your deep wrath against him.
Well, he's attempted to pass legislation on book clubs, and we do not care for that. There is the Vistani, a colorful people that I do not personally care for, but hold no ill will toward. He bans them from our town. And there has been the whole issue with the servants disappearing.
The servants
Come again?
disappear?
Oh, yes, 2 or 3 people a week. They disappear.
Your servants? His servants?
Oh, of the town. Not mine specifically. Oh, I look after mine. A servant comes into the room carrying another tray of pastries and decides to go back into the kitchen.
Wait,
servants
how
of the
long
town.
has this
What
been
does
happening?
that? Yeah.
Several weeks.
And do you have
We-
any idea? Are they never seen again?
Indeed.
We actually did run into a bit of a situation with the soul cakes. that
Oh,
were
this is not
scourging
that.
the streets.
These are more mysterious. People just go missing. It's always the servants. It makes it so hard to get things done. The other nobles have complained about it. But yes, people go missing and there's no sign of them and they disappear in the night. It's all very frustrating, very inconvenient.
Who was the
And do you
last
think
servant
that's-
to disappear?
Well, I believe several from the last several have been from the Burgermeister's mansion himself. Not that you heard it from me.
But we did.
And is
You
it the
just said
Burger-
it.
Oh, God, Crucible.
Is it the Burgermeister that you think is at the root of this, or do you think it's Isaac Strasny who is?
Look, I am not
Or
a
do you not know?
crime scene investigator. It is my issue is not with the murdering, it's with the lack of
CSI
follow through.
Velaki.
How you call a CSI?
My issue is not with the murdering, it's with the lack of follow through on solving the murdering. People will get murdered, but will people be strung up and hung for it? That's what I have. That's what I question.
People will get murdered, but when will more people get murdered? Is what. you
When
mean.
will people be held accountability? That is what I promise under a Wachter Velaki is accountability.
And fewer festivals.
And significantly fewer festivals.
Wachter 2020. Fewer festivals. More murder.
This is a lot to take in as we're approaching election year.
Well, that is most distressing to hear about the plight of the servants, and I'm glad that you are in search of justice for them.
Yes.
Have you
Let
had
us just
any
assume that it's
servants?
probably Isaac Strasny. That would be convenient. That would allow you to kill him and feel better about it, right? That is what you need to
Right.
hear?
I am curious, though. Have you had any servants go missing, or is it exclusively the non-Baron Burgermeister?
I think it has been mainly from the Burgermeister's mansion. Looks really bad. Makes him even seem worse when I say it that way, doesn't it? Can't
And-
keep his own staff employed.
Are they
Probably
quitting?
being
Employed.
murdered by the guy with the monster arm. Someone should do something about it.
I see.
You could argue he's creating jobs. Sorry.
Alina kind of looks around to everyone else to see if they have more questions, but
I don't have any more questions.
This
Do
tea
you know what-
sure is good.
yeah. Well,
I asked,
We-
what,
we are
do you know
current-
which days he goes around tax collecting? Strasny
Every
does?
day.
Oh, okay.
Let's
Every
say.
day. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of taxes.
Isaac, it's a small town. Isaac makes his rounds every day. He's the main tax they collect is sales tax, the most regressive of taxes.
Oh
Barovia.
We have experienced the sales tax.
Yeah, I
Okay.
tried to buy a tomato, and it was 1 gold piece.
It's 1 tomato, Michael. What can it cost? 10 gold pieces?
You should have bought a tomato instead. They're much cheaper.
Yeah. I'm sorry for everything. And so you chat with Lady Fiona. She tells you all kinds of. It's hard to unwind some of the gossip about the various noble families and who's
What are they
engaged
reading in the
to
book
who. She doesn't. She kind of steers conversation away from the book club. Oh, you wouldn't be interested in that. It's very academic.
Okay, that's rude. I don't say that out loud, but I think it.
Yeah, I'm not much of a reader.
It's just you're passing through. I don't think you. It's really more of a Falaki local thing.
Oh, so do you read local authors?
Some of the most local, you could say.
Do you know
What does that
Oh.
mean?
Oh.
So yeah, I'm interested in the culture of this town. So who are your local authors?
We have
look
many
for?
celebrated authors and poets and storytellers.
Oh, like Rick Tavio?
I am unfamiliar with his work.
So,
Aw.
as Lena is from here,
Mm.
how many authors is she aware of that are local?
Jane, make an author check.
History?
Sure.
That is 16.
I'm going to say you could round up to 0.
Perhaps any that I might have heard of, madam?
Oh, you travelers with your dusty cloaks, you wouldn't know these things. Do not concern yourself with that. You are off gallivanting around and murdering men with monster arms. The life of books is not one that you
perhaps
wish
a
to bore
volume
yourself
that we
with.
do you have a volume perhaps that we could borrow to bring on our travels?
I don't think I do.
I'm sure we'll be gone before the next book club meeting anyway, because it's probably like tomorrow or something.
Probably. Probably something like that.
I'm just going to say it now. This book club is a bunch of hooey.
I think they don't even actually hold a book club, is what
Yeah.
I think.
Can you tell me more about the laws that the so-called Baron, self-styled Baron, wants to pass about book clubs? Like, they seem pretty harmless.
He's really against people assembling in any groups, but it's clearly targeting
Oh.
me and my friends.
So is this one of those things where it's you call it a book club and you sort of all just sort of wink at each other, and then you are actually a political action group?
I do not understand the question, and so I will not acknowledge it.
Or do you just get
But you
together
did
and
acknowledge
drink
it.
lots and lots of wine and never actually read or talk about the books?
Would it be easier if I said that is what it is?
Yes.
Wouldn't
Thank
be easier
you so much for your hospitality. The
for
tea
your
cakes
rustic
were
hospitality.
delicious and did not send us into a fugue state. So
That is
that's
perhaps
better
the best
than
they can be said about.
yeah. So that's better than a lot of the places. I think that we can head out now.
You dears stop by any time, and watch out for my sons. They can be a handful.
I get it.
Not for
All right.
Broldish.
And Lena like tries to corral people out before they antagonize her any further.
Yep.
Sure.
Crucible is still eyeing his cup of tea as he's dragged away by Lena.
All right. Lena heads out the door without incident. Arabelle, sorry, not Arabelle, that's the niece. Aragal, Irina, and Pony seem to be playing some kind of 3-person rock, paper, scissors game that they've invented.
Aw.
Androdite is keeping score.
I don't know about
Art-
you, but I don't believe there is a book club.
Same.
That being said, Izek is a large problem for us as well, and I would have no issues with bringing his reign of terror to an end. I feel that Irina would be safer for it.
Yes.
Local toy makers would be safer for it.
Yes.
I would
I
feel
feel
more
that-
comfortable if we had some actual evidence against him rather than the conjecture of somebody who clearly has an axe to grind.
Well,
I
we
believe-
have met
there's
his
the toy
victims.
maker.
Yes, I don't dispute that, but perhaps murder vis-a-vis arson is not the appropriate response. And perhaps we must at least confront Izek before
I wouldn't
we
call it
simply...
murder. I would call it execution.
Yeah, and also if we confront the monster arm, then
Broldish,
we're
I thought
going
you
to
were
have
on
to
my
face
side.
the monster arm. And
What-
the monster
what
arm
is
can spit
justice?
fire at us.
Of
He's
vengeance.
making creepy dolls in
And
this.
that's not an executable offense.
All right.
It is in Barovia,
In Barovia,
maybe.
yeah.
I want to go home.
Oh,
I mean, here is the thing. There,
Sorry.
in Barovia,
in his Extrosny's defense, they're action figures.
So if he were responsible for these crimes, and who knows what terrible, deeds he intends with those incredibly lifelike dolls. To what justice?
Who knows what deeds he has intended for those terribly lifelike dolls? What crimes are punishable by death as executed by people who are theoretically the heroes of the story? Who is the worst person in Vallaki? Is it the Baron? Is it Lady Fiona Wachter? And whatever is the deal with book clubs? I can't promise answers to any of these questions, but for attempts at answers to questions such as these, tune in next time for Total Party Kill.
Oh my god.
That really took
Okay, but I'm finishing my sentence at the top of next session.
Sorry,
the
Jane.
most off the rails.
Jane, I heard a question and I was like, that's a better question than anything I'm going to come up with. I'm taking it.
Did we do a pastry roll today? Were there any other rolls?
There was a pastry roll. There was a history roll.
So
Live stream. I'm sorry
really
for
bad insights.
So there was meeting with the mayor, there was shopping, and there was a tea party.
You know what? You guys murdered some hags in a windmill last time. It can't all be murder fest. Sometimes you gotta. Hey, there was a tea party and an offer of paid murder. That's
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's not like if we find him guilty, we can put him in jail.
True.
Those are the stocks or something, right? Wasn't there stocks?
Yeah, but that's the government.
He can
The
burn
Baron's
everything
not
with
gonna
his
throw him
monster
in the
arm.
stocks.
There's some very complicated interplay here between what is the authority of the state and what is truly justice, and whose house is spookier.
They're all spookier.
The state is corrupt.
I mean, it's Barovia, so
That's
It's
fair.
true. The state is Barovia.
It's not nice.
It's redundant.
Jane, sorry to cut you off. Did you want to ask your question for people to think about for next time or anything else?
No, I mean, it was just like, okay, if we find out that he is truly up to something sinister, it's not like he is going to be punished by the
I think
town.
the big question is, what is there are many sinister things afoot here in Vallaki. Whose things are the most sinister, and who is simply carrying out sinister things at order from somebody else?
Yep.
Yeah, but if you carry out the sinister order, then you are also doing the sinister order.
Sure, but I mean, you don't just execute the henchmen when
We gotta stop the corruption at the very root, though.
Yeah,
You do it all.
Follow the money, people.
We
Or in
know
this
that
case,
the money goes to the vampire.
Follow the monster
That's not
arm
a
people.
mystery. We know it goes to the
Straight
top,
to the
and
top.
the top is a vampire.
And that is a castle back the other way. You could go there.
We know where the castle is.
Yeah, I like in that adventure where it's just like, it's here. Why on earth would you go there? You're going to go there later, but not right now. But it's right here if you wanted to.
First, we must defeat a monster arm.
You don't have to.
Maybe.
You literally don't have to deal with this if you don't want to. So,
I am so sold on destroying monster arm. I cannot tell you.
Yep.
I feel like you guys should chat with him and see him do something other than carry a box into a room before you murder.
Yeah, that's all Crucible's looking for.
He was making increasingly lifelike dolls of our friend.
Kill him for that.
In what world is it just a creepy thing and not a creepy thing that will
Live
cause
stream,
harm
if
to
you could
people?
write in a plausible reasons why he's doing
Gonna
it.
make some sort of spooky doll.
I'm really interested. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys.
here's
All right.
the deal.
What's the
If
most
we
plausible? What if he's starting a wax museum of the leaders of towns of Barovia?
Yeah, he's just
and
working his way up.
if we decide to talk to him, let's talk to him and not show any aggression when we do, so that way we can still have the element of surprise when it comes time to kill.
Have you met
But
us?
if we wait until he does something terrible enough that we feel okay doing things, then he will have done something
Look,
terrible.
I'm on your side, Jane. I want to just go after him, but all these folks here in these other Brady Bunch squares are saying we can't do
I'm
that.
not.
Jane,
So-
Jane, just a
I'm saying kill him.
Are the Brady Bunch
Oh.
squares the alignments?
Jane, just an important logistical question I have.
Yeah.
As somebody who just bought manacles an hour ago, are the manacles? I don't know enough about manacles. Do manacles only work on people with normal size wrists?
We could slap him on his ankles.
Okay, good.
Or
good,
like
good, good.
one hand, one ankle.
But then he's still got his monster arm is still free.
maybe
That's
we
the
could-
trouble.
Yeah, but he's like hobbled over.
I feel like Crucible could probably take those manacles and adjust one of them so that one is really, really big and
Cast
strong.
enlarge on one man. Alternatively, we could get a barrel and just pop off the like big metal thing.
The hoop.
Staves.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Mhm.
All right. I think I should go to sleep.
All right.
Tuesday
Live
night.
stream. Well, all I can say is Tuesday night.
Tuesday night.
Night.
Thanks, everybody.
We're off
Yes.
the air.
Oh gosh. Sorry. Sorry. Sorry.
Wow. Wow. That was a show. It was something.